Hey guys! Alright, so I'm going to do Genesis chapter 8, the moment. Hopefully 9 will be later. Sorry, my Bible just fell out of its thing. I just noticed that. It's bothering me. Okay. Anyways, now chapter 8, the very beginning of chapter 8, it says, "Then God remembered Noah," which I think is really cool right there because I like to imagine that Noah, after all this time, is probably thinking, alright, God, doing something now would probably be really good. Kind of stranded. And I feel like he might have been probably like most of us who were just like, it's been a long time. I feel like God's maybe forgotten about me. Kind of start getting worried and stuff. But God always remembers you. He knows what you're going through and He wants to help. At this point, when it says God remembered Noah, it's what it really means is acting on their behalf out of concern for them. So that music's really loud. Crap. um, so God is always concerned about us. He's concerned about Noah. It may not seem like there's a lot to be concerned about. I mean, he's in a boat. He's safe. But concern for his well-being and for what he might be going through emotionally, being stuck in a boat with his family and a bunch of random animals. But God remembered him and acted out of concern. And because of this, he ceased the rain. He gave Noah hope, which really is something that we all need when we're in that stage of we think we're forgotten about. God gives us hope. And the hope he gave was the mountain peaks were visible. Noah could see mountain peaks, which I don't know for you, but I think that would be a good thing. I mean, hoorah! Kind of like the end is in sight kind of thing. Which is always good. A lot of us wish that the end could be in sight at some points in our lives. But this is just awesome to me. Just that God always remembers us and that He's concerned for us. He acts out of concern to help us, to help us see the end of our troubles. Help Noah see the end of the flood, which would be a pretty big trouble. Which, yeah, is awesome. And what we usually forget about is, well, first off, at the end, when Noah finally finds dry land, it says here he goes out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him, every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth, according to their families, went on the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and every clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And, which is kind of weird, but also cool. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma, which is more like God was uber pleased of the worship Noah was giving him. And this is the part we usually forget. God does all this stuff, remembers us, acts out of concern, shows us the end of our troubles. But then when we get to the end, we forget God. We think it was all us. It was all our doing. We made it to the end by ourselves. And then we just don't remember God like God remembered us. And I think it was one of my friends, Keith, I think it was his status that said something like, it's stupid how when we're in trouble, we remember God. But then when the troubles are solved, we forget them. That happens a lot to people. And I'm not saying it hasn't happened to me. It happens to me quite often. Trying very hard to not do that. But it's almost like natural instinct. It's just like, yeah, we succeeded! Go me! Woo! But then, really, what exactly did we do? I mean, God gave us the means, God gave us the gifts, God gave us the ideas, God gave us everything. It was mostly God. Hardly any of it was us. And this is something we need to do more, is what I'm thinking. Even the smallest things. Like, I know with my Jeep has really bad tires on it, and when it snows bad, and when I'm driving to work, I'm scared for my life. I don't want to slip and die like I see. Well, I don't see death, but I see people sliding all over the place in their vehicles, and they have winter tires. I have summer tires. So a lot of the times when I get to where I'm going, I immediately thank God, because it's like there's, I'm definitely blessed here. And my second point here, this is like the second story, I guess, of chapter 8. But I find this as a big thing. Now, God says here, he says in his heart, after the sacrifice, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Now, this imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth thing, I feel like that hits everybody. All the adults and all the, I guess, grown-ups, they're all just like, oh, well, youth is evil. I mean, it says right here. But I mean, not all of us are evil. I really hate that stereotype. It's like, oh, you're a teenager, you're rambunctious and rude and do drugs and stuff like that. I mean, with me, dude, look at me. I've never done drugs, and I'm doing this. I'm making videos about the Bible, and I'm still a youth. Just saying. But for the most part, this is true. And I like to say that if you're a Christian, you're watching this, and you're a youth, which I hope you are, because I mean, I'm doing this for you guys. But I would say it is our job to prove this wrong. I mean, we do have evil imaginations. I'm not gonna say we don't. I have an evil imagination sometimes. For the most time, actually. For the most part. I try very hard to conceal it, though, and rebuke it when it comes into my head. But I've almost made it a personal goal to prove this wrong. To show people that what we can do. We can show people that not all youth are bad. We're not all evil. Our imaginations aren't all evil. This is our job as Christian youth to not only be different from the crowd, but to stand up as the difference in the crowd. To not be what people think are the downfall of humanity, but to be the light for the people's feet that think we are the downfall of humanity. I mean, how big of a smack in the face is it when not parents, but adults in general are just like, oh, you're youth, you can't do anything, you're just a youth. And then we do way more than they expected us to do, and more than they expected everyone else to do. How big of a slap in the face is that? And that is an awesome feeling. I will let you know that in my job, when I started, I was like, oh, you're a youth, you can't do much. You know what? I do more. I've done more for my store that I work at than a lot of people there actually know. And this is what makes me feel good, man. Is that I'm a youth, and that I can do things that people don't think I can. And that is what we should do. We should be able to do things that people don't think we can. have the audacity to slap those people in the face with a huge amount of respect and honor and the ability to do things that they don't think we can. This is what I think. Now, it might be hard, but who do we got on our side? God. And he's redonk big, man. With him, we can do anything. Now, that was more of a rant than I thought I would get into. But there you go. There are my thoughts. Again, questions, go ahead and ask. I'm always available, pretty much. Even if I'm at work, I usually answer questions anyways. So, send it out. If you want to leave me messages, you want to leave it more personal or something, I can give you my number. You can text me. I'm totally cool with that. But, yeah. Have a fantastic day. Ciao.